Welcome, everybody. My name is Scott from 5280 Peptides. Today, we are going to learn how to reconstitute your peptides. This is a video for educational purposes only, so use it for your education. So today we have our vial here of lyophilized powder, so it's going to be in a powdered form. We have our alcohol swab, we have our bacteriostatic water, and then we also have our insulin syringe here. So let's go ahead and break this down. First thing we've got to do is we've got to take the caps off of our bacteriostatic water. So we're going to pop the cap off here, take that off, and then we're going to take that, and then we're going to discard it. So that's something that you're not going to be able to put the cap back on. So it's not something you're going to need. So that's going to be trash. So your cap comes off. That's going to be done. We're going to take our cap off of our vial here, just like so. And then just to be clean, we're going to make sure that we sanitize everything with an alcohol swab. And then we're going to wipe down the top of our bacteriostatic water. And then we're going to wipe down the top of our vial here as well. So opening up our syringe. It's going to be important too. This is going to be a 100-unit insulin syringe. So once we use those 100 units, it's a little bit easier to draw from. So the bottom cap comes off, the top cap comes off. Be careful, don't stick yourself. So for this particular peptide, it's going to require 2 milliliters of bacteriostatic water in from this liquid to be put back into this particular vial. So 2 milliliters would actually be 2 full syringes of the liquid. So we're going to start by drawing out 100 units of air into the syringe, and then we're going to insert it into the bacteriostatic water. As we start to push the air back in, because we're trading air for substance, we're then going to flip the bottle over and we'll start to push this out. It will then start to fill up. There's a vacuum in the syringe and inside of the vial of bacteriostatic water. So you'll see this pull a little bit, and that's not wrong. We just gotta have to draw and then let that fill up. That needle's not very big and it will bend, so be very careful on how quickly that you're moving that needle around in there. It could bend, it could break. So just be careful, take your time. And as we start to get to that 100 units for the first syringe, it will load all the way to the top, and there shouldn't be really any air in there. That should be full all the way. We're gonna take that out, and then now we're gonna take that same 100 milliliters, 1 milliliter of backwater, 100 units of backwater, and we're going to insert it into our vial here. We go right into the center, we push it down. This is where it can get kind of dicey. If you keep this down, then this could actually spray the peptide or break the bonds. So we want to make sure and turn this on its side. And then we're going to let it just kind of work itself in. You can see I'm actually not even touching anything yet, but that vacuum is actually pulling that bacteriostatic water into the vial. So I'm going to gently start to push. And everything's draining and dripping down the side, so that way everything doesn't spray that vial and its contents. We've got to do 2 milliliters, so we're going to have to do this twice. So we're going to put that down. We're going to draw another 100 units of air out. Put that in, our backwater, our bacteriostatic water. Push that air in because we're trading air for substance. Push that out. The next question you'll have is, can I use a larger needle, like a 27 gauge or a testosterone needle or hormone replacement needle? The answer in short is yes, but don't. The reason is, if you're not skilled at this and you use a larger gauge needle, then there's a vacuum that's inside of these vials that will pull that liquid into the vial very quickly, spray that and possibly ruin it. So it's too expensive to ruin. So take the extra 45 seconds and then be able to just go slowly. We want to make sure and not break the bonds, because they're very fragile and they're little fickle things. So we want to make sure and take our time with it. And again, you can see it's only taken a minute or two, so it's not a big deal. So again, we do this again to put into our vial. Start to put that down, put it on its side, and you'll start to see that this is going to start to come from a powdered form or lyophilized form into a start of a liquid. And we only do this process once. You only have to do it one time. You don't have to do it every time. And then once it gets done, it goes into your fridge for most peptides. There are a few that don't go in the fridge, but for this particular peptide, it does go into the fridge, out of the light, and just in the center, not on the door because the door fluctuates temperature. All right, we're going to take our needle out because we are done with that. We're going to cap our needle so we do not stick ourselves. We'll just set that to the side. Now we're going to see that our peptide or our vial here is going to look like it's got a little bit more of like a snow globe in there. And this is the part where we're going to do James Bond in reverse. We're going to stir and not shake. Nice and smooth. And we're just trying to get that all to break loose, and then everything inside of this vial should turn into a liquid. There shouldn't be anything in this after we're done that would show anything else but this liquid being clear. So it's very important that everything is clear. There's no little molecules left or no little particles left. And you can kind of see that there's just a little bit there in the bottom still. So we're still going to kind of work that through. And I'm not shaking the peptide because, again, those bonds are fragile. So we're not trying to break that peptide up. So we're trying to make sure that we are going nice and slow. One more swirl. Other than that, it should be pretty good to go. Like I said, you only do this once and then you're good to go. Remember, keep them out of light, keep them in the fridge. Oh, there's a little sneaky piece that was there. And again, that's where it's just the part where just got to look. We don't want to have anything that's left over. And I've seen people roll them in their hands and kind of do the Mr. Miyagi where they kind of do this back and forth. And that's not wrong either. But, you know, whatever works for you is okay. So if you want to kind of roll it in your hands, that's fine. If you want to kind of swirl it on a table, that's fine. I just do the James Bond in reverse, and that's going to be stirred, not shaken. All right. So our peptide is now fully reconstituted, and it's completely clear, and it is now in liquid form. So that's it. You'll have some trash here, so you'll take a look and see that you'll have trash and scraps and things like that. People will ask if the needle is okay to be used again for research. If you want to, you can. If you want to get a one that's not already been kind of dulled from getting things into the rubber stoppers, I would suggest just get a new one. It's probably the easiest way. So also your bacteriostatic water you keep because you're going to have leftovers for other vials that you're going to have. So all of those should be super clear. If they're cloudy or if there's anything that's a discoloration, that is not a safe vial to use. So make sure discard that and do not use that for your research. Hope that helps with your reconstitution methods. That's your trash. That's left over. You're ready to go. Good luck.